Chapter 308, I'm Not a Coward 2. However, it only lasted for half a second. The shield-wielding man's energy field accurately erupted and suddenly blocked Zuo Kinking's lightning. He got up again and cut off the grass stem that was wrapped around his left foot. At the same time, Cheng Mo, who had gotten up, charged forward again. No one noticed that a dark green blade of grass had silently entered the collar of the shield-wielding man and stabbed him. The man's expression changed, but he could only send Cheng Mo flying again. After just one attack, the numbness that made the shield-wielding man despair spread from his neck to his limbs. The movements of the shield-wielding man had clearly become scattered. 30 seconds later, with Zuo Kinking's lightning and Gong Ling's plant type superpower, Cheng Mo struck the shield-wielding man to the ground. At that moment, Cheng Mo looked back at Zhu Tui with some hesitation. What he saw was Zhu Tui's cold gaze. Cheng Mo reacted instantly. This was a life and death battle. Zhu Tun had already killed 2 of them. What else was there to consider? A few seconds later, a huge head was cut off by Cheng Mo and rolled onto the grass. Blood spurted. Seeing this, Gong Ling's face turned pale. The color on Zuo Kinking's face also instantly faded. Zhu Tui looked at Cheng Mo, but he pointed at the woman and said, "Mozi, that woman is only unconscious. She's still alive. Go and stab her again." Hearing this, Cheng Mo, who felt a little uncomfortable in his stomach, hesitated. "Do I have to hit her when she's unconscious? When she wakes up, do you plan to use your emotions to influence her? Or do you want someone to keep an eye on this captive at all times? What if one of the 2 men I killed was her lover?" At this moment, Zhu Tui's voice was cold and emotionless. As long as it was a battle between friend and foe, only the outcome mattered. It's either dead or alive. Cheng Mo was stunned. He tightened his grip on the machete and nodded heavily. He slowly walked towards the unconscious woman. He raised his machete. In the next moment, the unconscious woman was beheaded by Cheng Mo again. Her head rolled down the slope. Blood spurted again. Zhu Tui was stunned. "Damn, are you a beheader? You can slit her throat too. You could also stab her in the heart. Without timely medical resources in the wilderness, they would definitely die. Yet, you made it so bloody." This time, Gong Ling and Zuo Kinking could no longer hold it in. They crawled on the spot and vomited. At the same time, Cheng Mo also ran to the side and vomited. Cheng Mo had seen dead people before. However, this was the first time he had personally beheaded 2 people. "You 3 have 1 minute to adjust. We need to be out of here within the hour. The smell of blood here is too strong. Although we are in a valley, it won't be long before we attract a large number of wild beasts, even mutated beasts. They might even be mutated beasts that live in groups," Zhu Tui shouted. 30 seconds later, Cheng Mo was the first to stop vomiting and stand up. He wiped the tears and snot off his face. "Im Don." Zhu Kinking also stood up slowly and helped Gong Ling to the upper position. "We're done too. Cheng Mo, cover the bloodstains with soil and slightly delay the smell of blood. Then, search the corpses and see if you can find anything." Huh? Cheng Mo was stunned. This job was not difficult, but at this moment, it was quite difficult. If you can't, just admit that you're a coward. Il doit. Under such circumstances, even if Cheng Mo was his brother, Zhu Tui did not hesitate. "I'm not a coward," Cheng Mo muttered indignantly. He took out the folding shovel from his backpack and walked towards the corpse. Zuo Kinking helped Cheng Mo stand guard. "Also, did you bring any perfume?" It did. "Spread the entire bottle nearby to slightly conceal the smell of blood and buy us some time. Gong Ling, you too." At this moment, no matter who it was, they no longer had any hesitation about Zhu Tui's orders. When Gong Ling and Zuo Kinking poured out the entire bottle of perfume, they saw Cheng Mo shoveling soil and covering a large amount of blood. Before they could finish pouring, they threw up again. Then, Cheng Mo vomited again. Zuo Kinking, be on guard for Cheng Mo. Gong Ling, come over and be on guard for me. I'll investigate the cave of the mutated fire ape first. Zhu Tui took the lead and walked toward the cave. At the same time, he took out a bat-like bionic machine from his backpack. When he threw it into the grass, the bionic machine turned green and earth-colored and fused with the environment. Ah Huang, scan and check if there are any other electronic devices here. The main function of this bionic mechanical bat was anti-reconnaissance. It could scan and find all the hidden electronic devices within a certain range. The mechanical storage that Zhao had given Zutui was extremely powerful. There were all kinds of bionic functions. However, most of them were small. For example, this anti-reconnaissance bionic bat was only the size of an egg. Ah Huang's voice rang in Zutui's ears before he reached the Fire Ape Cave. We found a miniature camouflage wireless pinhole camera in the area of the clearing team of the Korean Star Sector just now. The range of the camera is aimed at the Fire Ape Cave. You have entered the surveillance range of the camera left behind by the mission team, Ah Huang said. Are there any relevant technical parameters? This type of wireless pinhole camera can last for 3 hours after the wireless transmission is activated. The maximum transmission distance is 5 kilometers. The optimal transmission distance is 3 kilometers, Ah Huang said. A cold smile appeared on Zutui's lips. It seemed that the 4-man clearing team led by Kim Song had not gone far. Can this camera see the direction of our battle just now? Does it have the ability to capture sound? They can't see it. It has the ability to collect sounds, but in such an empty valley, the sound distortion is extremely high. Continue with the electronic anti-reconnaissance. At the same time, order the hummingbird stationed outside the valley to search for traces of that clearing team. Understood? After explaining everything, Gong Ling, who was vomiting again, caught up with some difficulty. She looked rather pathetic. Are you adapting? Gong Ling nodded at first, then shook her head. Is the world of genetic newcomers that cruel? More or less. I've only been through it once or twice more than you have. There's one problem, that Shi Hong was very right. What question? The power that humans possess has already undergone earth-shattering changes. Then, the rules and patterns that have been used previously will suffer a shock and change sooner or later. Actually, it was just that the Wuxia sector was trying their best to maintain the original rules and give us happiness. The situation outside the Wuxia sector has changed a long time ago, Zutui said. Gong Ling remained silent. If you can accept this cruelty, work hard and cultivate. In the future, try to walk out of the Wuxia sector or even go outside the earth. If you can't, just stay in the Wuxia sector and study and work. Zutui's words had a different meaning. After a moment of silence, Gong Ling's expression suddenly became firm. I can do it. Help me stand guard. I'll sense the situation in the cave. All right. Gong Ling stood behind Zutui. When hundreds of plants began to sway with Gong Ling as the center, Zutui focused slightly. He extended his mental perception into the cave 5 meters away from the entrance. His 21-meter-long accurate sensing did not end. He activated his 42-meter-long senses, but he did not manage to find the fire ape. The only discovery was that the cave was extremely narrow. The widest area was only for 2 people to walk side by side. Only one person could pass through the narrowest area. The walls of the cave had already crystallized. This meant that the fire-type superpowers of the 3 mutated fire apes were very powerful. It was no wonder that Karamov and Kim Song had each lost a team member. This passageway could only allow one person to rush in. There were some places that they had to climb. No matter who rushed in, they would be burned to death. Of course, if he was extremely fast, he might be able to reach them in an instant. He wondered how deep the cave was. In the next moment, Zutui switched his mental perception to microscopic perception. He instantly cut into the mountain and materialized the original quantum frequency. He materialized the Earth perception. His mind power immediately probed deep into the cave. In a few breaths, he discovered 3 mutated flame apes. He could roughly sense the depth of the cave. It was between 70 and 80 meters. At this distance, it was no wonder that the previous 2 teams were helpless.